everyone, and welcome back. It's Julianne here for Trinity Stamps. And even though the coffee hop is officially over, I still wanted to create a coffee-inspired card for my post this week. For my card today, I'm going to be using a bunch of different Trinity Stamps products, including the Summer Bouquet Builder, the Spring Fling Florals, a sentiment for almost everything, and finally, the coffee mug die set. So let's just jump right on in and get started. Now this die set is going to cut out the coffee mug as you see here, and the die is also going to leave a pierced impression down the center of the die cut, which is going to allow you to enforce that fold to create a super cute coffee mug card base, which is what I did today with some 110-pound white cardstock. Now since I am wanting to do some Copic coloring today, I did run my die back through my die cutting machine, but this time I did it with some Express It blending cardstock. And I'm just going to cut that in half down that same pierced line, so that way it makes it into two separate pieces, so it's easier for me to do my stamping today. I have to admit, I am completely obsessed with all of these beautiful floral cups I've been seeing in the stores and online lately, and so I really wanted to create my own for my card today. And that's really where I drew my inspiration from. And so to do this, I'm going to be stamping images from both the Summer Bouquet Builder stamp set as well as the Spring Fling Florals. And I'm going to be stamping all of the images I plan on using today onto a scrap piece of masking paper. And I am going to be doing all of my stamping today using some Memento Tuxedo black ink. And I am going to be using these masks today to create my one-layer card. And so I'm just going to continue to cut them all out until I'm done before moving on. Once I have all of my masks cut out and ready to go, I'm going to start working on my stamping. I'm going to be putting both of my die cut pieces of that Express It blending cardstock into my MISTI, and I'm going to start by stamping the floral images that I want to look as though they are in the front of my floral bouquet today. So I decided to start out with two of the sunflower images from the Summer Bouquet Builder stamp set. And I'm going to be doing all of my stamping as I mentioned before with that Memento Tuxedo black ink so that I can do some Copic coloring. And once I have those first two images stamped out, I'm going to be using those masks I created earlier to mask them off. And then I'm going to start working on stamping my next floral images, which will look as though they are behind those original two sunflowers. And I'm just going to continue my stamp and masking process for all of my images today before I move on to my coloring. Now with all of my stamping and masking complete, I'm going to start working on peeling back all of my mask to reveal that really pretty floral bouquet that I've created. This is definitely my favorite part about masking. I know that it can be scary if you haven't tried it before, and it definitely takes some more time, but it is so worth it in the end. If you haven't had a chance to try this out, I really encourage you to do so. You won't be disappointed. Once I have all of my mask removed, I'm going to start working on my coloring. This definitely took the most amount of time for my card today, but I really do enjoy Copic coloring, so it doesn't bother me that it took so long, but I do know that not everyone enjoys it as much as I do. For my coloring today, I am going to be starting with my lightest color of each color combination, and I'm going to be working my way to my darkest shade before coming back down to my lightest. And this is going to give me some really nice shading for each one of my floral images today. Again, if the coloring process doesn't interest you, please feel free to skip ahead. But if you are interested, I will make sure to have all of my marker caps off to the side of the screen like normal, so that way you can follow along with each of my color combinations. And I'll be right back. Once I had all of my flowers and leaves colored in, I really wanted to have my coffee mug be a different color besides white, so I decided to color it in using my favorite blue color combination, which is B45, B34, and B37. Unlike the flowers, for my mug I'm going to be starting with my darkest color of B37, adding it to the edges all the way around my floral bouquet, and then I'm going to be coming in with my medium shade of B34, coloring directly over that darkest color, and then finally I'm going to be coming in with my lightest shade of B45 to color in the rest of the coffee mug. And I'm just going to continue that process working all around my floral bouquet until I have my entire mug colored in. Once I had all of my coloring complete, it's now time for me to start working on assembling the rest of my card today. I'm going to start out by adhering my colored background pieces to my card base, and I'm going to be adhering both of them using some liquid adhesive, lining them up with that center line that the die cut creates. Cutting the two sides apart in the beginning of this video really helped me in making sure that everything lined up correctly when I went to adhere it all together. Once I had both of those adhered, I'm going to start working on my sentiments for my card today. For the sentiment on the inside of my card, I'm going to be using a newer stamp set, a sentiment for almost everything. I absolutely love this stamp set. It literally has almost every sentiment that you could ever need. There's I miss you, which is the sentiment I'm going to be using today, but there's also happy birthday, happy anniversary, get well soon, thank you so much, and the list just goes on. And I'm going to be using the I miss you sentiment to stamp the inside of my card using that same Memento Tuxedo black ink. And for the sentiments on the outside of my card, I'm going to be stamping both sentiments that are included in the Summer Bouquet Builder stamp set. And I'm just going to be using a sentiment strip to die cut those out so that way I can adhere them to the front of my card. Once I have both of my sentiments adhered to the outside of my card using some foam adhesive, I decided instead of using sequins today that I wanted to use some of my vintage Nuvo drops. I really loved how the yellow and those sunflowers really popped off my blue background, so I decided to use the color Yellow Brick Road to add some of those Nuvo drops throughout my background. Off camera, I did decide to add some sparkle to some of my flowers, and for that I used my Wink of Stella pen. And you can see here just how awesome this coffee mug die is. I really love how this card came out. There are so many possibilities for this die to create some coffee or maybe even tea inspired cards. And there is a gift card holder die in this set as well, so you could definitely add that to your card. And I really hope that my card inspires you to make something. The final step in my card today is I decided I wanted to add some yellow twine to my card to keep it shut. And for that, I'm just going to be tying a bow around the handle. And that's going to complete my card for today. I want to thank you all for stopping by and spending some time with me. I truly do appreciate it. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe for more card making ideas. If you are interested in any of the supplies I used in my video today, they will all be listed and linked down below in the description. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting!